Welcome to Off the Cuff, Beyond the ENP. A little over 5 years ago, this series celebrated people who had just earned one of the most respected certifications in emergency communications. The National Emergency Number Association's coveted Emergency Number Professional certification and the right to add the letters ENP behind their names. We talked to them about studying, the exam itself, the journey to get there, and exactly what becoming an ENP meant to themselves and to others. But this series is no longer about that anymore. No, it's about everything that has happened next. Today, we're talking with professionals who didn't just stop after earning those 3 letters behind their names. They became mentors, leaders, volunteers, and advocates. The people who help make our profession stronger than they found it. Because earning your ENP is in no way the end of the story. Sometimes it's where the most significant chapters begin. So sit back and enjoy Fletch and his guest, another ENP leader, for a conversation that is off the cuff and after the fact. Now, here's Fletch.
Welcome back to Off the Cuff, Beyond an ENP. This is a series where we don't just talk about accomplishing the ENP examination and getting that. We do a little bit, but we had a series for that. This is more about where you take it and how did it change your life, your profession, your own role in public safety. And today I'm joined by Kris Nichols from the Healthy Dispatcher. Now, Kris spent more than a decade as a 911 telecommunicator, working down in New River Valley, Virginia, that served a beautiful region of the country and an important area in Virginia Tech. And we're going to talk about what she did with her career, why she got the ENP, just a little bit, but more what she did with that ENP and where that brought her career. Miss Nichols, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
For like the 19th time.
The 19th time.
Somebody doesn't know how to record a video, apparently.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
That would be me.
I won't tell anybody.
Yeah, I think we just did. So let's start at the beginning of your career. Real quick, brush up on how you found your way into 911 and kind of what led up to where you are today.
So I always think it's really funny when I tell a story because I think everybody has a similar story. I don't know if I've ever met somebody who grew up wanting to be a dispatcher, just because our profession is so kind of out there in its own little world. Not a lot of people know about it, so not a lot of people aspire to be it. But my dad, who just retired, well, semi-retired in February after 41 years of being in law enforcement. But now he's still working part-time at his agency because he just can't give it up. So I always grew up around it. You know, I was always in and out of police stations, things like that. But I went to college and I got a theater performance and design major. I wanted to,
Acting.
I did well I did a lot of the acting, but I was really interested in the technical stuff, like being a director, doing stage management, all that kind. And I remember I graduated and I tried to put some feelers out for that type of job and nothing was coming up. And I was kind of approaching that time where like bills are starting to stare you in the face and adult life is staring you in the face and insurance. And I remember my dad telling me, we're hiring in dispatch. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I'll just work there for a couple months while I'm still job searching. And so that's how it happened. Just started working at the police department that my dad worked at. And then I blinked and it was 11 years later. And I feel like that always happens to everybody. It's always funny. Everybody's story is so different to get to dispatch, but it's all very similar. We just kind of fell into it.
When did you know that was going to be your career? Was it right away or did it take a little bit?
I think it took a little bit. I remember, even though I had grown up around it, I really didn't know what it was, right? Like no one ever really knows what dispatching is until you get into it. And I remember wanting to do so well because a lot of the people at that department watched me grow up, right? Like I was little Scott Halverson's daughter, and they gave me, I can't remember what his unit number was. I think he was 4.0 at the time. So I was 4.0.5, and everybody had just watched me grow up and I was just like this little girl in everybody's eyes. And I just remember really wanting to do a good job and really wanting to make my dad proud and really wanting to, make sure, because that was his place, right? I was coming into his place. And once I started really getting into it, I realized that I was actually pretty good at it and I was actually enjoying myself. And then I just got really interested in training. And I was only at that department for about 2.5 years. And then I moved. And the department that I was at for about 9 years, that's where I became a CTO. And I think it was probably maybe 3 or 4 years in, especially when I started becoming a trainer. I was like, oh, I'm pretty good at this. I can do this as a career. But it absolutely was not like day one. I thought I was going to be there for literally just a couple months.
Right. But you built it. It was something that fit your personality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My type A control freak, like ADHD. Yeah. It absolutely completely fit my personality.
So when did ENP come into the fold?
That wasn't until, I want to say, I think about 6 or 7 years into my career. And I had no idea what it was, right? And I think one of the disservices we as a whole in dispatch do is, I think we have gotten better in the past couple of years, especially with social media and people connecting with each other. But there was so much that I didn't know about this career. I didn't know that there were things to aspire to, things to get, trainings to take, classes to take, certifications to get. And it was actually during COVID, during one of the virtual conferences that started coming out during that time when we all had to move to the big World Wide Web. And Halcyon had a session, and she had her ENP, and I loved her session. I had never met her before. I was like, wow, that girl's really cool. And I had seen that she had this ENP after her name, and I didn't even know dispatchers could do that. And so after the session, she gave her contact information out. And so I just on a whim wrote her and asked her to tell me about it, explain it to me. And she did. And she was great. She sent me all this information and resources on it. And I started like looking into it. And I was kind of at that point in my career where you kind of feel stuck. Like you don't really know what you're going to do next. You've been in it just long enough that you're not sure if it's time to leave or if you're going to make that your career. And so I just thought, you know what? I'm going to study. I'm going to study and figure out what this is because I really want to get this. And that's kind of how that started.
So when did you moved from training in CTO to you actually did some training as an ENP? How is that different? Did you find a difference?
I did. I think one of the reasons ENP for me was so life-changing was there were so many things once I started studying the ENP, I realized there was a massive amount of information that I did not know, specifically when it came to being a dispatcher, not even a trainer, just a dispatcher. The biggest thing that always jumped out to me was how anti-alley worked, how 911 call processing worked, how a wireline worked, how a central office worked, all of that. And I had realized that I had just kind of gone through the first 6 years of my career knowing, okay, this screen shows you this, but never really understanding why.
Yeah.
And I kept coming up into these situations with trainees that I had where they would ask me questions that I had no idea how to answer. And I don't like that feeling, not being able to communicate something or explain something to a trainee. And that's one of the reasons why I really deep dove down into all the technical stuff while I was studying for the ENP, because I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. And I'm going to do it really well. And I'm going to make sure that I understand. I don't want to just study this material to pass this test. I want to truly understand how it all works. Which is how I started making all those infographics and guides. I really just did it for myself.
Right. And I think, from the way I learn, at least, when you understand how the machine works, you turn this dial and this moves this way because of this. Then when something else breaks, you can go through and figure it out. Yeah.
And I am not a technical person. And so that is very hard for me. I'm way more in touch with my creative side. So the way that things fit together in puzzle pieces and codes and things that are in the abstract, it's very hard for me to grasp that. So it took a long time for me to really make sure I understood it. But I'm also a visual person, because when you're explaining something to me that I can't see, that's just, you're talking about, oh, the call pings here and it goes here and it connects here. It was very difficult for me. So when I started making those infographics and those guides really for myself so I could see how it all mapped out, and then I kind of realized, oh, okay, well, I can make these really, really simple and I can start giving them to my trainees. So next time a trainee asks, well, how does a 911 call work? I knew the answer. I was like, I can explain this, Probably I did get some feedback from people that I had watered stuff down way too much and it wasn't as technical as it should have been. But that really wasn't my goal. My goal was to make it understandable for the masses like me, because I'm just not a technical person and I needed to have it as simple as possible so I could understand concepts better and at least have a better understanding of how the job worked.
I think if you break something down into something a person already understands, and then you correlate that to what you're trying to explain, that's when the light bulb goes off. I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day about two complex systems communicating with each other. And I said, think of it this way. There's a road between you and me. I drive on the right, you drive on the right, but your right is my left. So when we stay in our own lane, we don't hit each other. The second that one of us changes, we're going to have a head on. Oh, I get it. I'm like, oh.
That's how my husband explains all the stuff that he does, all his coding and his automation and all the things that he works on. He always says, think of the road and think of the power lines and the houses. I do this. And so, and for him, that's way watered down, right? But for me, I'm like, ooh, that's perfect. Thank you so much. And then I'm good. That's all I need.
So here's the trademarked Fletch answer for networking, plumbing, and water flow. Yeah. And everybody understands that water runs downhill and it doesn't run uphill. But if you look at a network like plumbing, and it's called plumbing a lot, actually, because of that, it's very, very, it fits perfectly. And you can understand, oh, now I get why this is that. And, it's just plumbing.
Yeah. And there were so many things about when I was studying for the ENP that were particularly difficult for me just because they were so relevant to my job, but on the other hand, not relevant to my job at all, right? As dispatchers, we're expected to know the basic troubleshooting, right? Like the bare minimum, who do you call if this button doesn't work, right? And so it was such a wild ride for me, having this whole entire world open in dispatch that I had no idea really even existed. Like just honestly, how everything worked, how the concept of PSAPs going down and getting rerouted, and what happens to a 911 call if nobody answers, and how it rolls over. I mean, all of that stuff. And it is pretty wild how I went 6.5 years or so into my career and never truly, even looked into that kind of stuff, right?
Sure.
So it was definitely it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. It was very, very hard, but it was so rewarding because I feel like it really put me on a path that completely changed the trajectory of my life and my career and all of it. So it's probably up there with one of the best decisions I've ever made.
So that's a perfect segue, almost like you were reading my mind here. It's kind of scary.
It's almost as if we've had conversations before, right?
Almost. So this was a major change in your career. And one day you put this cryptic message out on social media. Hey, big news coming, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, me being Mr. Nosy, I'm like, what's going on? I can't tell you, it's a secret. Come on, give me a hint. And you said, or you texted me that you're going to work at THD. Now, me being the guy, THD means the Home Depot, right? And I'm thinking, what the heck is going on? So I have this pictured in my mind.
Yep, that's my first day at work. That was actually a couple weeks ago.
And I'm like, what the hell is this all about? You're like, no, it's a healthy dispatcher. I think my other one was Dixie Highway or something. I forget the other one. I never had referred to the healthy dispatcher, and I know Adam really well. I just never referred to it as THD. That's always,
I was like, all right, Grandpa.
Now, I put a lot of work into this. Well, AI put a lot of work into this.
Right, of course.
You can see aisle 911 and, the what you can get is emergency department and first aid. ChatGPT did a very nice job on this, I think.
Lovely. It's just stunning. Just stunning.
My gift to you.
Thank you.
So why did you hook up with this guy, Adam, who's running this rogue know-nothing in the industry?
Right. So during
that's what you called him. I'm just going by what you said.
So
we love you, Adam.
Yeah, I don't even have to defend that because between the both of us, no, you're way more likely to say something like that. No, I think so. I remember right around that time, there was this chunk of time in my career where it was all happening around the same time. I had just given birth, and it was right in the middle of COVID. And so being a new mom during COVID, going back to work at the type of job we're in, and at that point, we were in so many unprecedented times, right? Every time you got on the news, something else happened, right? 2020, 2021. And in 2021, one of my really close friends who worked with me, he passed away kind of unexpectedly. And there was just a lot of things that were kind of hitting me all at once. And it was at that, that point, that crossroads, what I mentioned earlier, where you just kind of get stuck, where you're not sure, are you going to make a huge change in your life? Are you going to leave your job? Are you going to try to do something new because things aren't working, right? My stress was getting the best of me. I was really unhealthy with how I was coping with all of this stuff. And I stumbled upon his book, right? His Dispatcher Stress book. And it was the first time I had ever felt connected to the outside world, that other people in this profession actually felt like I did. And, and I know a lot of dispatchers can relate to this. Usually in your inner circle, you're most likely like the only person in your inner circle that is a dispatcher, right? So family events, it's very difficult to kind of communicate with people. Shift work, missed holidays. There's just a lot of things that the general masses can't connect with you about stuff. And that was just kind of isolating to me, and I felt very alone. And when I read that book, it was like the light bulb, right? I was like, oh my God, there's other people that feel that way like I do. And it's been so long ago, I don't remember if I was in the middle of studying for my ENP or if I had already gotten it. But one of the things that make the ENP so amazing to me is the expectations that they put on you to keep the certification, right? Yep. One, I'm never taking that test again. So sorry. Two, they give you this list of homework, right? In the next 4 years, you have to do these things if you are wanting to keep up the certification. I was like, well, my local APCO NENA conference is coming up soon. Maybe I can, submit papers for it or whatever. Because one, I needed to start doing that to keep up my cert. Two, I was really trying to learn about stress and how to cope and how to deal with it in my own personal life. And that's just another thing that started a chain reaction, right? I started getting a grip on my stress. I started being able to teach that class at my center to my trainees. I was able to explain things better. I was able to cope with the stress, cope with the anxiety, like all of that stuff. And that just kind of set me on yet another path of going to conferences, getting my, getting presentations in, doing webinars, doing NENA classes, doing NENA trainings. And then I realized that, I'm actually kind of good at some of these things. And then I started making my infographics and there were so many things that I have done in my 11 years of being a dispatcher that were freaking awesome. Like I still pat myself on the back and I'm like, girl, you great. But there are also so many things I've done that have just been total, just dumbass moves, right? Like things that I handled a trainee situation wrong, or, I made a mistake on the radio, stuff like that. And I'm one of 5 girls, but I'm one of the oldest. And I have always joked, like, me and my older sister made all these mistakes, and my little sisters got to watch and not make those same mistakes, right? And I felt like that's the approach that I could take with other trainers, that, hey, I've made a lot of these mistakes and I would love it if nobody else made these mistakes. And that's kind of how I started, doing all that kind of stuff. And I think just the stars aligned, because a while back, Adam and I just started having conversations about what my future was going to look like, and if I was interested in going over there and like jumping ship. And it was kind of a no-brainer, right? Like, why wouldn't you? It was really hard, right? Because leaving dispatch was probably one of the scariest things I've ever done. And I've done some pretty, I've had an unmedicated birth, like I've done some pretty intense, scary things in life.
Wow.
Right. But like leaving dispatch, that's monumental, right? That is and it sounds corny and it sounds silly when you say that out loud, but people who are in it get that, right? Like, if you're in it, you understand leaving it is huge. But knowing that I was going to go to the Healthy Dispatcher and work with Adam and work with Kris, I was like, this is perfect, right? The stars have aligned, and all the things that I started years ago, getting my ENP, getting all this stuff, this is where I was always meant to be, right? That was just the perfect path for me. So I'm pretty...
How much do you use your ENP today, do you think, in your career?
I think that I wish I used it more, in the sense of I wish I still kept up with all of that technical knowledge. But I think one of the things that ENP does for people is really give them the confidence to just do more, right? Feeling like you really have that space, that you belong here, or that you're worthy of doing this, and this. Because I think everybody struggles with like imposter syndrome, or just feeling self-conscious. And I think
explain that. Explain imposter syndrome.
Just the feeling that everything you do isn't good enough, or I always get this feeling that I'm like, oh, I accidentally got here. Like, people don't actually want me here. I just kind of beamed here, and people are too nice and they don't want to uninvite me. Or I've been in here for so long and I'm just so nice that people don't want to fire me, even though like I'm not good at the job, right?
Oh, I mean, both of those are true, but I mean, you're not supposed to know that. That's all.
Yeah, I just and so I think one of the things that the ENP has done for me has really made me feel solid in the fact that I do belong here. I am allowed to take up space. My voice does matter. My opinions do matter. I am good at what I do. People do want to listen to me. People do want me to help them. And you don't have to get all these letters and things behind your name to be that. But in my specific case, I think it really did help me just gain the confidence to start doing all of these things, because I don't know if I never got my ENP and it didn't force me out of my comfort zone and forced me to start going to conferences, start putting in papers, because you can get your recertification points by doing so many things, right? Like I ran one of the mission critical partners study groups one time, right? I would have never done that. Like when the hell would I have ever done that? But the fact that the ENP like forces you to do that, forces you to stay involved, forces you to push yourself and go out of your comfort zone. I don't know if I would be here where I am now if I had never gotten it.
By the way, just officially, you suck, because I'm going to read you what I've got written down. What did the ENP do that you didn't expect? Did the ENP open doors for you, or did it change how you walk through those doors? What, did you read my notes?
you know,
At least let me ask the question.
all right. Go down, find your question you haven't asked yet.
Oh
And,
my God.
I'm waiting.
What would you say to the next Kris Nichols sitting in the comm center today, wondering whether they belong in a larger 911 center or just as a larger individual in the 911 industry?
As I have gotten older, and I really, really deeply, truly feel this, that I think a lot of us, especially when we're younger, everybody's figuring it out and nobody knows what we're doing ever, you know? And I think even as I get older, we still don't know what we're doing, but we have a little bit more confidence than we did before. But I truly feel like every single person here in dispatch, in public safety, we all matter. Every single person has a story. Every single person has their own opinions and their voices and what they're good at. And I know about myself, there are so many things that I'm good at, but there's so many things that people are better at than me. And I need those people. Like, I need those people to tell me how to do stuff. I need those people to help me do this, help me do that. I have a very specific talent that I know that I'm good at, but you also have a very specific talent that you're good at. And we need each other. And I truly feel like that about everybody. There's so many people that I have met either in person, virtually, on Skype, on Zoom, just on Facebook, on LinkedIn. And everybody has their own interest and their own specialty. And I feel like we're just getting stronger every day by working together. And people are becoming more confident to start talking about this is what they're good at. This is what their special interest is. So I just hope that anybody who's listening or anybody who ever sees me and sees the stuff that I do, and if they ever like, oh, I wish I could do that, you can. Like, you just have to find what is important to you and what's exciting to you and what you're good at, and do it. Like, but it does take a lot. It does take kind of like a leap of faith. You know, you got to be. And it's so funny. I think this is going to be the first time I admit it, but I'm going to admit it, and because I don't care at this point. But
do we need a drum roll or anything?
Yeah, don't.
Okay.
I studied and studied and studied and studied, and the first time I took my ENP, I failed.
Wow.
Yep.
Good for you.
And I do think this is the first time I've ever admitted it. So now it's in recording for all of time.
Wow.
But,
right here.
You've heard it first. Breaking news.
After all the crap you've given me over all the years, you hand me this on a golden pillow. Thank you.
Well, but I was devastated, right? Because I had spent the better part of almost like a year, right, studying for it. And I didn't miss it by a bunch, but enough, right? Like, and
it only takes one.
It only takes one. And I was just absolutely devastated.
Oh my God.
And I was like, you know what? Why did you think you could do this? Like, how did you think that you were going to be good enough to do this? And I had to make that decision. I said, you know what? I'm going to do it again. And I got right back to studying, and I signed up to do it the next season, and I passed.
Who was the first person that you told that you failed?
Probably my husband, because I think he was sitting next to me. And he was my study buddy the whole time.
Wow.
And he was just like, he really encouraged me to do it again too, because he was like, what I had said earlier, he said, this isn't what you do every day. All this technical stuff, all this thing, like you don't do this. And he was like, I'm so proud of you for getting to this point, and
what a good guy.
Right. He's a pretty good one. And so I said, you know what? And I remember being so embarrassed by that, right? Like, it's 5 years later, and this is the first time I've ever said it. But at the end of the day, like, who cares? Who cares if I took it and failed it? Like, I did it again and I got it. And here I am now, right? So it all worked out. But that it is hard. Like, it's just one of those things that if you really want it, you got to work for it. And then I've talked to so many people that it was way more of a breeze, right? Like, some people go through this ENP process and they're like, it wasn't that hard, like.
Yeah. But those are technical people,
Yeah.
and it focuses on technology, but there's other stuff there as well. But there's a lot of technical stuff. And if you don't get it, you can really get down in the weeds, and you just totally blow multiple sections, and then you're done. It's just not going to happen. And you've got a dispatchers were not always able to become ENPs.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And again, they're not exposed to that. And you didn't have the Tracy Eldridges. You didn't have the Erica Lakeys. You didn't have the Kris Nichols out there doing their, flow charts. And this is the way it really works in simple terms that humans understand. Forget those guys.
Yeah. And I mean,
forget the nerds. This is what it really works.
Yeah. And so, and it's so funny to me, like, at the end of the day, like, okay, I took a test and I failed and I took it again, right? Like, who cares? It's not that big of a deal.
Wow.
But
it is a big deal that you had the gumption to go back and say, no, that's not going to be the way it is.
Right? Like, I'm going to do it.
Can you imagine if you had not decided to go back? That would have changed the direction of your whole career.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I think it really would have squashed a lot of confidence.
We would have had this.
It would have made me just completely, all the momentum that I had going would have just completely stopped, would have just squashed.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
I have so much more. But, I always had a lot of respect for you because you get it. You're a great trainer. I like the way you present the information, but my respect for you just like tripled after telling me.
I'm a big fat failure.
You really suck, but I'm so proud of you.
So proud of you. Yeah.
Now I feel bad for saying you sucked before. I hope everybody knows that we're friends and that was just.
I mean, it's even so funny, like, the older I get, just the less F's I give, like, I was so embarrassed for anybody to even remotely have an inkling that I failed. And now I'm like, yeah, I did. It's hard. And hard things are hard. And sometimes you got to do things multiple times. Sometimes you got to really put in the effort to do something, but it was worth it. It was so worth it. And I wish that more people were told about this stuff earlier on in their career, to have something to, like, aspire to and look forward to, because, we do a lot of talking as dispatchers, but we're not super great at, like, explaining to the world what we do or how we do it, or, lining up. Chris Inman and I were talking on the Healthy Dispatcher podcast the other day with Adam, and Chris actually mentioned something, like, really, really interesting, and I hadn't even thought about it before, but he was talking about, back in his day, dispatch was rarely seen as, like, a career, right? It was just something that you were in and you did.
Yeah, it's a job.
Yeah, and now we're getting so much better with things for people to obtain and aspire to, and ways to climb up, or ways to get bigger, or help people, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I do think even in, like, the 11 years since I've started, I've noticed a big change for the better and for the more positive about how we as dispatchers see ourselves, how the world sees us. So I'm hoping that we're going to keep on that upward motion, and things are going to continue to get better for everybody.
Wow. I can't believe you dropped that on me. I am literally speechless right now.
I know. It came into my brain, and I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to give Fletch the deets. I'm going to drop it on his podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is just going to blow up because of that.
Right? the headline, Kris Nichols, big fat failure.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for the soundbite.
Yeah, right. It's fine. Go ahead and use it.
And I came this close to getting you drop the F-bomb.
Very close. I'm shocked that I haven't. Honestly, I'm shocked.
And you're such a sweet girl from Virginia too. It's just an exterior.
It's just shocked.
See, some of us know the real you.
Oh, it's awful. My language is horrible, but I also blame dispatching for that because I did not used to be that way. And when you spend a decade around a bunch of dispatchers,
yeah,
and cops, like I cuss like a sailor.
Did you ever have to dispatch while your dad was working?
Occasionally. By the time I came around, he was a sergeant of special ops, which was basically evidence hiring, which is so funny because like obviously during the hiring process he had to excuse himself and somebody else had to do it, but background checks, polygraphs, evidence, he did a ton of stuff for the department. So he was kind of in the desk by the time I came, but there were some times when it hit the fan where he would key up because he had to, right? Because it was all hands on deck. And so there were a couple times that I did dispatch for him. And then back in January, my agency that I just left at, they let me give him his final retirement call because he got to come up to my agency, and we did a little special ceremony, and we put me on a talk around channel, and he got to sign off for the final time, and I got to give him his last retirement call, which was pretty nice. And
you know what? Breaking news from me, I cried when I heard that. That was very, very touching.
He cried a lot. He definitely cried a lot too.
So did you.
I was hard. It was. Whew. I thought I was going to cry way more, but I really had to get it together. All that training really kicked in there.
It was you like almost losing it and then pulling it back in. That's what got me. That's what, like, I couldn't hold it back anymore. I'm like, oh, that's so great.
The older I get and the longer I was in this job, like the more understanding I had for my dad. And the more you really, really get it. Because when I was little, like little, he was in homicide. And for the longest time when I was little, I didn't even really know what he did for a living. Because you're not going to go tell your 4-year-old what you really do. So my mom used to tell us that he just used to catch bad guys.
I got to see the inside of somebody.
Yeah. And it wasn't until I got older, and then, he's had a lot of different jobs on the force. Yeah. But as I've really been in it and see what he has seen or heard, what the things that he's heard and stuff, and I think that's what made me like so emotional, because 41 years is a really long time to be in it, right? And all the things that he had done and all the things that he continues to do. So it was big. I was proud of him. I was, it was emotional. But of course, just because you leave it, you don't ever leave it. He still works part-time at the agency. He goes back like 2 to 3 times a week and like does their evidence and stuff. You can't ever really quit. You never really leave.
It's wild. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you sitting down. I've known you for a long time, and I thought I really knew you. I learned new shit about you today. Wow.
I just have so much up my sleeve. So many, so many things. I mean, I think honestly, the biggest thing is I do want people to know and understand that it's okay if you do. And as corny as it sounds, it is okay if you fail, because you can always do something again, right?
Yep.
And
no, go ahead.
Like life isn't perfect, right? Like things don't just happen the first time, right? Sometimes you do have to work a little harder or put in a little bit of the extra work to get what you want. So
this is why I was so jazzed about bringing this series back, because ENP is not just a passing of an exam. It's forced to be that lifestyle with its recertification. You have to stay with it. You have to stay in the career. It's about people doing that, and it's about people taking the credentials, combining it with the real operational experience that they bring, and that comes from all over the place, right? And whether you carry it into training, and you're using it as the foundation to support health in the future in the dispatch community, that's fantastic, because you're putting a whole new spin on this. And that's really what Beyond the ENP is really, really about. I struggled for months figuring out what I wanted to do and why. I knew it was there, but I couldn't quite piece it together. And talking to a few different people, it's becoming evident now. And that's just how this industry works sometimes, right?
Yeah. And I have in my office right now, I have my new recert, because I just recerted in April.
But it's not pink.
No, it's not pink.
Did you ask if you could get one in pink? Because apparently that's a big deal.
Yeah. It's so funny. One of the people keep asking me, like, what's the biggest change of like moving from dispatch to the healthy dispatcher, blah, 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 blah. Pink. And a lot of times I'm like, pink. Let's see over here. Pink. All my sticky notes, pink.
Right. And all the trimming colors on the walls, courtesy of that wonderful husband of yours.
Yeah. I mean, it's a huge culture shock, but when you spend 10 years in a dispatch center, right? Like, you don't see a lot of pink. And so I was like, if I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna really go for it. I'm gonna really change everything. So it's been, you can't tell too, but my chair's pink. So
not your shirt though. You would blend into your chair.
You know what? And nothing made me more upset, because when we first got my camera, and like my husband and I were like working out the lighting and stuff, I happened to be wearing a pink shirt. And we realized very quickly that I cannot wear pink and do anything like this, because my face is really red and the lights won't work. And no matter, I have my little ring light, and like, it does not look good. So I can't wear pink, unfortunately.
Your lighting is very good. My lighting is horrible, and I do this for a living. So,
Oh, I was obsessive about it.
I just don't care.
I was obsessive about it. I was like, if I'm gonna be on camera, I'm gonna make sure that I have it perfect. So.
Well, the more on camera stuff I do, and I don't have it all on there. That's my true lighting there. Yeah. Which is a little better, but I still have to, still working with a green screen. But, right. Because I wish I could afford that.
Right.
Steve Souter says to me one day, I didn't know you played the piano. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, on your podcast. It's a beautiful grand piano. And I'm like, oh, there is. How about that?
You're like, yeah, sure. No.
All the time. All right, listen. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I really appreciate this. I think it's you just spent a lot of time validating that there is value in a follow-up series here.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely a special group of people that get the ENP, because percentage-wise, it's not a lot of people, right? I haven't checked the numbers in a while.
There's only like, I don't know, maybe like 3,000, 3,500 that were issued. And that was part of the reason I wanted them numbered. Number one, so that people that had been in ENP longer had a little bit of street cred in their number. Yeah. And, and it was something, I felt it was just another little carrot. Hey, you thinking about getting it? Get it now, because if you wait, you'll have a higher number.
I wonder what my number is.
You'll get it. It should be on your recert. On the bottom by the signature.
Oh.
What is it?
$3,099.
$30.99.
But that, when I got mine originally, I wonder if the number is different, because when I got mine originally.
Nope. They went through a lot of work. Sandy Dyer went through a ton of work. The numbers are issued once. Even if you were an ENP and then you weren't an ENP for a while and you came back as an ENP, you got your same number again.
Oh. So I am the 3,099th person to get my ENP.
Correct. I'm 1206.
Wow.
So that right there says a lot. I'm 1206. You're 3099. Okay, there's 1,800 between us two, but look how far in our careers we have between you just getting it 5 years ago and me getting it 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's how few ENPs are actually out there.
Yeah. That's wild. And I never even saw that number.
Yeah, that's why I wanted them numbered, because I wanted people to be able to relate to that. Wow, that's the third thing that you gave me today. Damn it.
Dude.
Nichols, you're unbelievable.
Just rapid fire. Hey, I brought my A game, came to party.
I'm upgrading you to dime.
I get that joke sometimes.
I've been waiting to use that all day.
I do. I get that joke a lot.
All right. Well, look, time to go. Thanks very much.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
That wraps up yet another special episode of Off the Cuff, Beyond the ENP, part of the TiPS, Today in Public Safety series of podcasts by Fletch. This podcast is copyright 2026, but may be shared with attribution and linked to the original content. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe for more episodes of TiPS, published every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on social media and always streaming live at 911tips.com. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. And as always, if you're in public safety, thanks for what you do every single day. Stay safe and take care.